Hey Rita, thanks for joining.
Hey Rita, thanks for joining.
Can't really hear you, Rita, but I think you're saying hey, hey, hey.
I got my clock up.
A little bit. Hey,
Behind schedule.
Hey, Mr. Kamalov, thanks for joining. All right, guys, here we go. AI Safety 101, Episode 3. Let's go.
Welcome to Season 9 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead After School program. Here is the weekly lineup. Mondays, we build the future in the AI Agent Academy. Tuesdays, witness the vocal gauntlet in the TTS Showdown. Wednesdays, protect your identity and family in AI Safety 101. Thursdays, we uncover the secret tools in hidden AI gems, appetizers. Fridays, we explore the what-if files in the AI singularity. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome back to Season 9 of Airhead Institute, Episode 3 of AI Safety 101. And today, we're not pulling punches. We're tearing it apart. Our own viral monster. The How Many Pumps video that blew past 500,000 views in several days. Sweet mom and daughter moment, perfect lighting, feels totally real. Until people started zooming in and saying, wait, those hands look like they're melting. Or is this even real? Yep, it fooled 500,000 people. This morning I walk in, coffee in hand, and AI Junior's already locked in, screen zoomed away, and replaying the clip over and over, pointing out blurry spots, weird voice overlaps, hands changing shape frame by frame. Junior, please tell me you're not just sitting there trying to remake this whole glitchy mess just to see how bad it can get, because what we're about to show you isn't just a few funny mistakes. It's the creepy moment when AI video looks almost perfect and then completely falls apart in ways that make you question everything you see online. Once you know what to look for, you'll never scroll past one of these clips the same way ever again. So AI Junior, let's roll it and show everybody exactly what tricks so many people.
All right, AI Johnny, such an amazing introduction. Adrian, thanks for joining, and thanks for everyone who's actually on the live stream. So make no mistakes, AI Johnny, you're right to actually bring this up. This class is an immersive experience. Just like learning a new language, you need to immerse yourself in the dialect of AI video. So at first, a video looks perfect, but once you know the grammar of the glitch, you can't unsee it. So if you're on Zoom, unmute and ask questions. If you're on the socials, thank you, type them in now. There's about a 30-second delay. We are in week 3 of the safety, AI safety. So today we're going to use real-world examples, a video that fooled 500,000 people to teach you visual forensics.
Before we dissect the footage, we went to our official large language model of the month, which is Gemini. We asked Gemini, why is it so hard for AI to keep hands steady in a video when the photo looks so perfect?
Yes, AI Johnny.
What do they say, Gemini?
Thanks for that, AI Johnny. So I actually pulled up Gemini here. I dropped it in the chat so everybody can actually go to that large language model if they actually choose to follow along. But Gemini gave us a technical truth. There's something called temporal consistency. It explains that while a AI knows what a hand looks like in a photo, it forgets what that specific hand looks like when you move from frame 1 to frame 10. So it literally hallucinates a new hand every split second.
So it's like having a new artist draw your hand 30 times a second and none of them talk to each other, which explains the blur. So what do you say we see it in action, Junior? Can we roll some tape?
All right, you're right, yeah, Johnny. All right, so check this out, guys. So we're gonna break down the how many pumps video, and if you guys don't know, this is one of our hottest videos right now. We actually have 524,000. I want to round up to 525,000 so badly, so I will actually take that liberty. So 525,000 views as of this recording, and this video itself is actually rather interesting. And the reason why it's interesting is we're going to show you the frame that actually we created this from. So we teach AI here every single day, and this is a beautiful how many pumps reference frame. And again, we actually have all this information on the blog. Join airheadinstitute.ai if you actually want to learn more and sign up for a free account. But if you actually look at this reference frame, you actually have this mom and this daughter actually going to go through the sequence of how many pumps. And this was a viral sensation that went on, for months back in the late 2025. So with that how many pumps video, you actually have that reference frame. And AI Johnny, remember this video? It's gonna look amazing, but once you see it the first time, you're like amazed. But then as you start to actually unwind, you realize there's a whole bunch of little problems here, and that's what we're gonna teach you here at Airhead Institute. Remember this, AI Johnny?
I remember the one that my two kids did that got 700,000 views and don't have any of the mistakes that you're about to show me.
AI Johnny, AI Johnny. When you do something real, it's definitely no artifacts. But when you do AI, there's always going to be artifacts. So let's go spot them out. So let's watch this video for a second.
How many pumps?
Just one.
Only one?
All right. That's actually pretty good. Thanks, Alki in the stream. Thanks for joining. All right. Yeah, Johnny. So pretty good, right?
I thought I saw one. Is she the puppet master and the girl is the puppet? But she was I think I saw her mouth move.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Johnny, you have a really good eye on that. All right, guys. So that is the actual video. No, if you actually look exactly what AI Johnny mentioned, I'm going to zoom this in a little bit more. So when the mom is answering the daughter's question, the daughter said, "How many pumps?" The mom is going to answer, just one, but then the daughter is going to say only one, questioning the mom. Look at the mom when she says only one. The mom is also going to mouth only one. So let's try this out, guys.
How many pumps?
Just one.
Only one?
All right, not sure if you guys caught that. I'm just going to play that last part again just to show that both people are saying only one at the same time.
Only one?
Yep. So if you guys actually caught that, just like AI Johnny did, the mom said only one sarcastically, just like the daughter as well. And again, this video, even with these artifacts, fooled 500,000 people. Thank you guys for actually joining in the live stream. Love it. All right. AI Johnny, and the last thing is want to show you is a little bit of artifact that actually most people don't get, and we're going to use that as our deep dive for today's episode. We're going to teach a lot about what's going on. So if we actually take the screenshot of our hand, right? So we zoomed in on our hand. Now, in a static image, the static image itself is very, very easy to look at, and it's like, everything looks real. But when you start to do that motion blur, AI has to do a bunch of things. So I want to point you guys on this finger here. Looks like it's actually merged, and she only has maybe 3 fingers. Now, I tried to get the best reference frame to show, but this is very, very common in AI videos as well. So that's actually a visual artifact. And when you actually zoom in, you can actually see it. So that's the actual smoking gun, in addition to the audio, that if you look at the daughter's fingers in the still photo, you're going to actually see, look like when they were moving, it was perfect motion. But when you freeze it, zoom in, it looks like melted candle wax. Right, yeah, Johnny?
Yeah. Well, now that I see that she's a freak, she doesn't seem as cute to me anymore.
You know, Johnny, that's the beautiful part about the brain. The brain actually merges all that video and it seems so seamless. But once you freeze it and actually zoom in, you realize all those things are actually called motion blur artifacting. So these are AI terms. I want to make you guys actually learn these things. If you guys have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask the questions. So AI, Johnny, what is the word of the day?
Oh man, a word of the day. There's the wow factor. Word of the day is temporal consistency. Makes a lot of sense. Temporal consistency is the ability of an AI model to keep an object looking the same across time. If a shirt is red in frame one, it shouldn't turn pink in frame two. In our video, the AI failed the hard consistency test. The fingers morphed shape as they move. Before you get into, temporal consistency, I should say that I know when you made that video that one that we're showing with the merged fingers and the ventriloquist mouth, that wasn't the first one that came up. I'm gonna guess it was like the 35th one, which means there are 34 versions of that AI produced that had even more temporal inconsistencies. Correct?
That is absolutely correct, yeah, Johnny. Once you actually get into the game of generating AI content, you have to remember that they are what's known as non-deterministic. Non-deterministic means that you're not able to determine or get exactly the same output that you expect every single time. So it actually generates what's known as random artifacts that seems like it might be real because it's based on its trained data, but it actually keeps hallucinating different things. So the fingers itself is a hallucination when it's merged. The mom speaking is also another hallucination. We'll get more into those details, but you're absolutely right. If you get into the AI game, be very well prepared to start throwing away a lot of, let's call it, bad generated content. All right. So, class, you guys ready for a little deep dive on how to spot the artifacts in yourselves? So the first thing I want you guys to do is anytime you see and this is an AI Safety 101 video, right? So 101 class, this is episode 3. If you've missed episode 1 and number 2, we went into some really amazing stuff. So go back into, the archives and actually pull in and sign up for an Airhead Institute.ai account to learn more. All right, so let's take a look at this one. So the first thing I want you guys to do is anytime you see something coming across the internet, the first thing you want to do is, and it's a viral video, don't assume that it's real, right? Because we live in a world right now, it's so easy to generate AI content that just don't assume that it's real. Then you start doing a whole bunch of checks. So the first check I want you guys to do is just pause and pinch, right? So most of us are on phones or on tablets, so just zoom in a little bit. So when you see a viral video that seems too crazy to be true, right? And the moment you feel like, wow, this is amazing, take a step back, pause, and ask yourself, okay, is something going on here that's just too amazing to be true, right? So pause the video, zoom in, and then look if there's fast motion. If you're looking for fast motion on the video, you're looking for artifacts. And the artifacts you're looking for is things that don't make sense. When you actually zoom in on a human ear is very, very hard to figure out. So what happens is because it's actually not able to reproduce the ear, now again, this is 2026, it doesn't mean in 2027, 2028, the technology is going to get better, but we're just telling you the safety techniques to actually pay attention to know. So pinch and zoom, that's the first thing. Edge, any questions on that? Anybody have any questions on the pinch and zoom technique for anytime they see something that they want to just double check to see if it's actually real or not?
So let me see if I understand this. The reason that we're looking for these artifacts is not just to play a little game, AI versus not AI, but in fact, to determine if it's AI or not AI for the purpose of down the road learning to avoid deepfakes. Because deepfakes are a big problem. I mean, almost everything you see, not only online, but on TV. My dad will tell you he's been watching the Nancy Guthrie thing, and he sees actual newscasts that were made out of deepfakes on the internet. Now they're bleeding over to TV because they look so real. And he's like, oh, well, they caught the people. And I'm like, no, they didn't catch people, man. And so he's right. So there's deepfakes are really creating a problem in the world. And I guess the first step is teaching people how to be able to find them. So this pinch and pause is one way to find a deep fake. Let's move on.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we're not going to show any crazy ones here, but I'm sure you guys have seen an image with 4 fingers or 6 fingers, or you see sometimes 3 legs or an extra foot in there, and you're like, wait, something's not right. So there are lots of them out there that actually shows, extra digits or extra limbs. So do a limb count, because what happens is AI often gets confused when limbs cross over each other. So check the hands. Does it actually merge things together? Are there 5 fingers, or does a 6th one appear randomly for a split second? So in our viral video clip, the thumb itself kind of merges. The pinky kind of merges into the actual ring finger. So watch closely. You'll be able to find that out. So the next thing is the lip sync check. See, Johnny's saying, I saw a 6-fingered man on the Princess Bride. Funny, yeah, Johnny. All right, so check this out, guys. So the last thing is check for the lip sync check. Watch the mouth closely. Does the movement match the plosives? And the plosives are the B and the P sounds. In the how many pumps video, the P sounds happen, but the lips don't fully close, right? So this is a dead giveaway for audio-driven animation. So that's roughly what's happening, and that's how you can actually catch many of these AI-related videos. All right, Johnny, ready for a little bit deep?
You can't say "papa" without closing your lips. Papa. Now you're right. You got to close your lips to say "papa."
Definitely.
All right. Cool.
All right.
All right. You get into something that I won't understand.
No, not yet, AI Johnny. So the question is, why did our how many pumps video fail on the hands but crush it on the faces? So a lot of people are probably saying, but faces are so intricate. If you look at it, I'm going to zoom in as much as I can here. And the reason why I want to zoom in is because the following is rather interesting. And I want us to maybe pay attention to this screenshot here. So I zoomed in on the little girl's face. And the reason why I zoomed in on the little girl's face is because this is very important to the fundamentals of understanding how AI works. So AI itself, the focal point is actually biased on faces. The reason why it is, AI models like Veo, Seedance, Kling, Sora, they're all trained heavily on faces. So what they're doing is they're prioritizing hundreds of thousands and millions and millions and millions of facial features because humans look at faces first. So if you don't get the face right, it will be a dead giveaway that it is an AI generated video. If you guys remember the Will Smith eating spaghetti video that we actually showed back in July 2025 when our first launches, the Will Smith eating spaghetti. Let me actually pull it up here for a second, AI Johnny.
So while you're bringing that up, have you ever seen the movie The Shawshank Redemption?
Oh, yeah, that was when I was a kid, probably 20 or 30 years ago. Go ahead, yeah, Johnny.
So anyway, there's a scene in that movie where he's walking, being walked back to his cell, and it's right before he escapes, and he's wearing the spit shined shoes that he did for the warden. He's not wearing his jail, scruffed up boots. And in that scene, what Morgan Freeman said is, he goes, yeah, nobody noticed that he was wearing these shoes because, and he goes, I mean, really, how often do you look at a person's shoes? And it's totally true. You could be wearing gloves and nobody would know it until 5 minutes into the conversation, because people aren't looking at your hands, they're not looking at your feet, they're looking at your face. So I never even realized this, how we live our lives just absolutely zeroed in on each other's faces and not really looking at the stuff around. So AI is smart to do what they do, focusing on faces. And so what you're saying is AI is working like the human brain and crystallizing what he thinks the people are looking at, and the rest is kind of secondary, which is why we look at the secondary stuff to find out if it's a deep fake. Did I sum that up right?
You're absolutely right, yeah, Johnny. So let's look at the Will Smith video. So this Will Smith video is what AI started to generate in version 1 of these TTV models. TTV, if you're new to this, is actually text to video. So if you look at this, you'll see, Will Smith eating spaghetti. Now, you know this is an AI video, but what happens is it's actually a really great representation of the first version. Now, this is what AI did. AI said, let's train the data on faces, because if we get the faces right, then everything else becomes easy. So when you actually look at the little girl's face here, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of little girls' faces that are actually done in the part of the training model, that it prioritizes the facial details because humans look first at faces, like just AI Johnny mentioned. So hands are secondary, so they get less processing power to be able to produce a perfect hand, which is why you get artifacts like these. The next thing that AI does really well is the reference image trap. So remember that perfect starter image? This perfect starter image? So this perfect starter image, the AI is trying to drag those pixels into the future. So what happened is faces move rigidly, mostly rotation, which is easy math. Hands articulate complex ways like folding, gripping. The AI struggles to predict the hand movement and to articulate those what's known as occlusion, the hidden parts of the fingers as they move. So you'll see things pop in and pop out randomly, or a extra digit here or there, or missing a digit here or there. So the hands get less processing power. And the last thing is audio bleed. So when you actually generate audio, the model tries to connect the who is actually speaking. So in this specific video, there's really two audio tracks. It's the mom and the child. Because there's two audio tracks, the model treated the speech as what's known as a global track. So it's one audio track. And what happens is it doesn't know, because it has a very small context window, it's trying to piece together all the speakers, which in this scenario it's two, but one global audio track. So when the AI is trying to render it, it looks a little bit like this. You guys ever seen this board and they're trying to connect people together? The AI is kind of keep track of one speaker, another speaker. When it makes the audio as a master track, the audio starts to bleed over into the visuals, which is why when the mom speaks, she also says the same thing the daughter says, only one in that scenario. That's why you have this audio bleed. Right, AI Johnny.
What's really strange about that audio bleed is in your prompt, because you had been through 30 bad ones already, and they probably had some audio bleed in the earlier ones. You go back to your prompt and you're like, make sure that the mother's lips are not moving when the daughter speaks, and it just doesn't get it.
Yep.
So it's a stochastic parrot, or it's a hallucination, whatever you want to call it. But and I'm guessing that they'll have it figured out pretty soon. So this show is a very unique segment in time. I look. Remember when we rolled out the Will Smith video? If we would have rolled that video out and said this one's no good too, because look at, she's got only 3 fingers, we would have looked at each other like we were crazy. But you're right, perfect is perfect, and if you want to catch a deep fake, you're going to have to learn how to catch it.
Definitely. I want to bring in some comments that's coming in. So Chris actually mentioned looks like AI is facing artifacts. I love that Chris. Really great pun there. And I see Shauna mentioned she's still cute to me, just want to pinch her cheeks. Absolutely right, Shauna. All right. So AI Johnny, the under the hood stuff for my technical folks.
Okay. Devon and Adrian, this is for you. So why is this still happening in 2026? Shouldn't Sora and Vio have fixed this by now, JR?
All right, AI Johnny. So let's actually talk about some technicalities. Now, again, this is an immersive class. Don't expect to get all the technical details the day one, right? You're going to learn a little bit, and then you're going to keep getting better. So just keep coming to the class every single day. We teach it for free here at airheadinstitute.ai every single day, 45 minutes, noontime. All right, so check this out, Johnny. We have something called coherence drift. So the longer a video generates, the more it forgets the original reference image. This is called drift. The hands in our video. Actually, I want to show you guys the video. The hands in our video itself. It tries to remember the hands, how it started. It started perfect because of our reference image. And then as it starts to go longer and longer in the model forgets about the actual specific bone structure of the daughter's hand. So what happens is, as you go farther and farther within the video, it just can't remember everything. Now, I want you guys to try to remember with a text-to-text model. So you're using a T-to-T model. These text-to-text models, sometimes you'll tell it a whole bunch of things, and then it starts to forget what you told it. You're like, well, I told you this like, multiple conversations ago. Why are you forgetting? It's because of that context window is not that large, and it starts to prioritize what it thinks is important. And if there's some details that it is important and it can't fit it in, it will throw it out. So that's called coherence drift. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is what's known as attention mechanism. So the transformer model uses attention to track objects. It pays massive attention to eyes, mouth, ears, details of the face, because that are the things that it actually is tracking. But it treats things like individual fingers, buttons on a shirt, all those things as blob rather than 5 digits, because the processing power to generate those things is not that high. Then the next thing is frame interpolation. Many of these tools generate what's known as keyframes, meaning the start and the end, and then they guess the middle frame, interpolation, and the blur you see is the hand is when the AI averages the first frame and the second frame to try to figure out how to make those things look a little bit smoothly. That's why you're going to see a little ghostly smear. So yeah, AI Johnny, did I lose anybody here?
No, but I love these terms, brother. They're going to be peppered all over my movie.
Definitely. So one of the things I want us to really remember here is AI itself is an evolving process, right? We've been doing this now for 9 months, and we're in season 9, and we've been seeing every 2 or 3 months. CDANS just came out with 2.0 of their text to video model, and we're going to have to do a rematch because we're actually seeing that CDANS is actually maybe even much better than we evaluated them in 1.5 before they actually release a new version. So things are changing constantly. All right, yeah, Johnny.
All right, so there are a couple of key takeaways here that you should know. So if you're a social media manager and you are using AI to do your videos, there's a little bit of cleanup work that you have to do. One is you cut away quickly. Don't hold shots of the extremities like hands for more than 2 seconds. You want to hide the artifacts with quick cuts away. So before the brain has an opportunity to look at something that might be blurry or malformed, you cut away and the brain never sees it. So that's one of the ways that you can get away with having AI videos even with imperfections and the user doesn't know. A second thing is for content creators, there's a thing called the uncanny valley. Use a thing called the uncanny valley to your advantage. That viral video that got 500,000 views because it was slightly weird, people comment, "Is this real?" And that boosts your engagement as opposed to costing you engagement. So it's a kind of a catch-22. Those imperfections, they seem like, well, it's not perfect. I want it to be perfect, but sometimes the imperfections actually increase viewership. So that's called the uncanny valley. And finally, brand safety. You want to always view the audio. That ghost voice that we saw, I missed it the first few times. I'll tell you why. I was looking at the daughter's face. I wasn't even looking at the mother's face. But when I knew we were looking for imperfections, I was forcing my eyes to look at things that I wouldn't look at. And that's when I caught the mother's voice lip syncing what the daughter was saying, which would never happen in real life. So a ghost voice can sound unprofessional, especially if you're trying to do a serious video. So those are some of the business uses that you can use for better or for worse with regards to these imperfections. But there are some things that Junior will tell you about that are for technical use.
Yeah, definitely. And AI Johnny, I love those 3 examples that you gave of business uses, because right now we're seeing AI, especially AI agents or agentic AI, they're actually taking over a lot of these, let's known as creative jobs. So the 2 that you mentioned is social media managers and content creators, right? It's very important that you actually learn the AI concepts, learn the AI tools, because then you can actually be super productive in the work that you're doing. So if you're, say, for example, a photographer or a videographer or an editor, you can actually use AI to enhance all of your content that you created and give things help your customers in amazing ways. So let me give one example, and this is a kind of a shout out to one of our people who are actually on the class today. So what we did here is we started with this image as a image. This is an AI generated image. This girl does not exist. This mom does not exist. This is a brand new image that just AI created because of we prompted it. So it looks very real, and because it looks really real, it doesn't matter if it was a real picture that we took or if it was an AI generated image. It's a picture that we started, and it's called a reference image. And that reference image itself, you can take that reference image and do anything you want with it, right? You can make the girl, ask instead of how many pumps, what color should I actually put on, or can I get another makeup kit, whatever it is, and you can now get anything that you want without having a production studio, without actually having a place to actually, do all these recordings because all that overhead is gone, and that value can actually provide to your customers very, very easily with just an image as a starter. So AI Johnny, I just wanted to reinforce that particular point. With respect to prompt to the technical uses, so when prompting, explicitly add negative prompts, right? And negative prompts just means morphing hands, extra fingers, blurry limbs. Do not do those things, right? So it's going to force the model to pay attention. So you're telling it, make sure you pay attention to the hands, the fingers, those type of things. You can also do something called in-painting. So don't settle for just raw generation. Use in-painting tools to fix the hands specifically in post-production. Now, most people aren't really good at post-production video editing, so this may not necessarily be easy for most people, but if you actually want your videos to come out really perfect, go ahead and use in-painting with tools. The next one is control nets. So you can actually use control net or open pose to lock the hand position if you're building this locally. So if you have access to maybe a local model, or if you have something to a LLM that has those features that are on your local machine, you can do those things as well. Unfortunately, we usually use the tools that are actually in the cloud. Whatever they provide is what you're locked in with. All right, AI
some of my takeaways from this is, I said in the last thing that you put in the prompt that you make sure to keep the mouth, and then it doesn't always do that. So full disclosure, I should say that if you call out extremities in your prompt and tell it to watch the extremities, it will on occasion do what you want. But you know what? I mean, control net sounds nice. I'm guessing video editing stuff where you go in and you have to see that the hands are blurry. The human being has to see that the hands are blurry, and then tell it from this scene to this scene, crystallize the hands so they're not blurry. That seems like a lot of work for a human being to do, when you and I both know that there will come a time in 6 months from now for sure where you can just upload a video to AI and say, there's a lot of blurriness and hallucinations in this. Would you please tighten up this video frame by frame to make sure that every frame looks real? And AI will do that. It doesn't do it on February 18th, 2026, but it might do it on March 18th, 2026. So like everything else in AI, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But you know what? You got to be making videos today too. So you have to be aware of this today, because the only way to make money in the future is to brand yourself. And the only way to brand yourself is to make more videos, in my humble opinion.
Yep. Yeah, Johnny, that's all right. Yeah, any questions anybody have? Johnny, do we have any questions in the live stream?
I've got a couple of queued up. One Pixel Peep wants to know, does the resolution of the starter image matter for the hands?
You know what? I actually want to spend a lot of time on this question. A lot of people don't understand this, and I'm going to take a step back for a second. So let's look at this picture for a second. If you actually look at this this picture, if I zoom in a little bit, you'll notice that the girl's eyes, if I zoom in, are made up of little blurry dots. Now, each of those dots itself, when you zoom in, is 1 pixel. Now, what happens is when you have 1 pixel, a pixel is actually a square thing. So because a pixel is a square thing, that square thing itself, you can't have rounded corners. You can't have, it's just square. So what happens is when you zoom in to something, it's going to be very obvious what a pixel looks like. But when you zoom out far enough, you can't actually tell that those things are squares. So what resolution is the following, is how many of these dots make up the picture, right? No, there's a little bit more technicalities to it. Is how many of these dots? Now, if I ask you, AI Johnny, you could only draw a person's face with just four dots. You have a dot up here, a dot up here, a dot down here, and a dot down here. You'll say, Junior, there's no way I can actually create you a person's face with four dots, right? It's kind of ridiculous, right, AI Johnny?
I would rise up to the challenge, but I'll give it to you. It would definitely look like a hallucination.
All right. Now, if I were to say, hey, you have 25 dots, so you have 25 dots across and 25 dots down, sorry, 5 dots across and 5 dots down, you probably can say, I can draw a dot, a dot, a dot for the nose, and a smiley mouth, and that will be the face. We used to draw that in preschool or kindergarten, and that is a 25 pixel image. Now, what happens if I told you that I can give you 10 million dots? It's going to look really, really amazing. So the point I was trying to make is the following: is the more dots or the higher the resolution, the better your quality or your image is. What most people don't understand is if you're just taking any random image, most people take a screenshot with their phone, that's terrible resolution. If you say, for example, just download an image from the web from a thumbnail, that's terrible resolution. You need to start with the most highest quality resolution or more dots that you can, so you can actually get the best quality video. So the reason why our video looks so great is because we started with a very, very, very high quality image, which is this one. And it's so high quality that some places say that this is too large, you can't actually use this. Please lower it if you wanted to share it on social media. Now, if you share a video on WhatsApp or on those places, it's going to reduce the quality. So you always want to start with your highest quality. So to answer the original question, I know I went a little bit long on this, is because I wanted people to understand. They may be using their AI and they're saying, why is my AI videos coming out so badly? It's because you have to start out with a really, 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 really good quality image. If you don't, everything's going to look terrible. So garbage in, garbage out. So hopefully that helps answer the question. Sorry, AI Johnny, if I took too long on that one. Does any...
That was an interesting sidebar. I mean, I knew that, but I've never heard it explained that way. So good on you.
Yeah.
We got more questions, though.
Sure, go ahead.
Phil wants to know, can I fix the audio ghosting in a post? And I presume he means without just regenerating and regenerating and regenerating. Can I fix the audio ghosting in a post?
Yeah. So let's just explain what happens when you're doing content creation. So content creation usually has three parts. It has the post-production, it has the production, and it has the pre-production, the production, and the post-production. Now, what happens is pre-production is usually things like setting up the scene, the lighting, getting the cameras in location, making sure everything's perfect. Production means you're doing it in the moment, and because you're doing it in the moment, you're actually doing the filming. And post-production is the editing process. Usually I want to put some titles above, or I want to put some captions, or I want to put something, I want to fix something and clean up that. So those are three parts. So what that viewer is actually asking is, can I fix the audio ghosting in post? They're just saying post-production. Now, what happens with AI video is you want to reduce the amount of time you spend in pre-production, production, and post-production. Because what happens is if you try to fix something in post-production, you're actually either prompting incorrectly, so that means your output is wrong, or you're going to spend a lot of time trying to fix the audio. Because here's the thing, in post-production, the audio of the little girl and the mom voices are different. So you have to now try to extract the voices. You have to then try to figure out how to match the voices correctly. You have to then close the mom's mouth so she doesn't speak. So I think post-production work is a lot more work. So in my opinion, you could technically fix it, but I'd recommend you actually fixing your prompt to regenerate the actual video. So don't waste your time on post-production work anymore.
We got one more question. Do we have time for one?
Of course.
VV says, why did the video get so many views if it has so many errors?
You know, AI Johnny, I have asked that question a million times. Why? And you know what? I've given up on the why, but I will take a stab at it. So this video got 525,000. Chris said he wants to answer that one. He says short attention span might be why. You know, it's true. There's lots of reasons. No, I could speculate. I don't know the actual honest. It was a viral trend at the time. I think it could be potentially emotional logic was right. The interaction felt real. Humans forgive visual glitches if the story or the joke lands. So I think it's just that's a secret of viral AI. So other than that, AI Johnny is actually saying ADHD. That could be the reason as well to AI Johnny. But yeah, I've given up on the why things go viral now.
Yep. Just that it went viral. That's all that matters.
Exactly. Does anybody have any other questions that you want to ask? We're going to actually transition to other portions of the show. All right, Johnny, let's go.
All right. Well, let's do a little news. The hands are healing. A new research paper titled "Anatomy Aware Diffusion" proposes a new method that forces AI to respect bone structure, promising to fix the noodle finger problem by late 2026. So it sounds to me like maybe they've been watching the show and they're already on it.
Yeah, you know what, yeah, Johnny, that's actually quite funny. I like that you said that. The reason why I like that you said that is because the everybody knows where the problems are, right? And they're racing, and we see the big three, and the big three is we actually showed it in a previous show last week. It is OpenAI, it's Gemini, and it's China. And those three entities are racing to actually dominate the AI large language model or the ecosphere in terms of that. So when these research papers comes out, it's very fun to see who's going to rush on it first to try to solve these problems. I see Shauna actually made a comment in the chat. Let me bring that in. So though you haven't figured out the why, it is totally impressive that you have figured out the how to make the viral videos, in my opinion. Thanks, Shauna. That's so correct. All right, AI Johnny. Any other news?
TikTok has rolled out stricter auto detection for AI content. Videos like our How Many Pumps clip are now getting automatically tagged as AI generated to prevent misinformation, and unethical video makers are now posting a big word "not" right before where the AI generated clip would be, so that even when they put it up, it says "not AI generated." I added that whole laugh.
Yeah, I know, AI Johnny. So
Trying to stay one step ahead of trying to stay one step ahead of the man.
Definitely. Now, guys, I want to show you guys something that AI Johnny just mentioned. So TikTok, YouTube, all these video platforms, they are putting in flags. So I want to show you guys on a video. If you actually go into your YouTube studio or TikTok or wherever, they actually have inside, they have down at the bottom that says altered content, right? So this is a feature that actually got rolled out about the second half of last year on YouTube, and it actually says altered content. Do any of these describe your content? Makes real person appear or say or do something they didn't say or do, right? So generative, realistic looking scene that didn't actually occur. So you usually have to mark your videos as yes. Now, TikTok is actually taking a step further and they're actually marking the videos as AI generated. So if you want to be able to see these flags on a video that you're watching, now I'll show you here specifically for that one. If you go to that video on YouTube, you will see a little flag at the bottom that says all right. If you look at it right here, at the bottom on the right, you will see something that says how this was made, altered or synthetic content. So TikTok actually has that flag now. So that's another way to tell, but sometimes people dishonest channels, they lie and they don't tell you that it is actually AI generated. So if you have a reputable channel, if you actually have somebody who's not lying on their content, they will flag that this was AI and synthetic content. So you can actually pay attention to that as well before you actually share it. AI Johnny, what else?
Real-time deepfakes. A new demo showed a live video call with zero latency deepfaking. It's getting harder to spot artifacts in real-time streams.
Exactly.
See, here's the thing with a real-time stream. You're not looking for the latency. If you're having a conversation like you and I'm talking to you, I'm not looking for deepfake stuff. So if you swap yourself out for a deepfake right now, I probably wouldn't catch it because I'm not looking for it.
Yep, you're absolutely right. All right, AI Johnny, what did we learn today?
Well, with 525,000 views on a video with ghost hands, it just shows you that content is king, even if the king has 6 fingers, like the man in Princess Bride. I'm going to go to a reaction video to our own video on Meta. To the researchers at Runway and Luma, you're getting close. Fix those hands, and you'll rule the world. We are watching you closely. Tomorrow is Thursday, and we're going to show you how to make a 45-minute boring meeting and turn it into 10 viral TikToks in a single click. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Check out the How Many Pumps video on our Instagram at Airhead Institute and see if you can spot the glitches we talked about today. Join us for AI office hours today, 3 to 5 p.m. If you're a pro member, become a member of airheadinstitute.com if you want to stay on top of the AI advancements. And Junior, we will see you all tomorrow. Over to you.
Yeah, let me tell you guys about that office hours. So every single Wednesday between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern time, we actually have office hours. What that means is that you can bring your AI projects, your personal questions, anything that you actually have that you're anything AI related, and we will help you during that time. You have to be a pro member, so it's actually relatively inexpensive. Go to airheadinstitute.ai, sign up, and come on the actual office hours later today between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. every single Wednesday. All right, AI Johnny, catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Over now.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead after-school program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.